Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have Emily Yore, who's a content marketing manager at Splice Marketing. How you going, Emily?
I'm doing great, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, good. So thank you for being on the show today. And it's been a little while since you were in my class at USC. So when you graduated, you said you finished in 2017, but your official graduation was 2018. So what have you been doing since that time?
Yeah, that's right. So I was pretty lucky straight after graduating. I got a job pretty easily. So I started my first job at a not-for-profit company as kind of a one-man marketing team, which was great as, my foot in the door sort of job. I worked closely with the CEO, so I did pretty much all the events and marketing for their company. And then about 11 months in, I just kind of hit a wall, I guess. I was kind of like, I was fresh out of uni. I was doing everything I possibly could, but I did want to bounce off other marketing professionals and just develop my skills. So after the 11 months, I started looking for a new career opportunity. And then I started at Splice Marketing, which is a digital marketing agency for healthcare and medical. So I started there as a digital marketing coordinator. And then about 7 months later, I got promoted to content marketing manager, which I've been now for about 2 years. So in that role, I look after all the content marketing, social media for about 30 healthcare and medical clients. And I have like a little team of copywriters and graphic designers I manage as well. So that's where I am at the moment.
Fantastic. And so you were saying before that it's quite specialized creating industry, and it's quite regulated as well. So you have to sort of really know the boundaries of what you can do when you're creating content.
Yeah, that's right. So healthcare and medical is regulated by a board called APRA. So they're very strict on marketing. So it's pretty much to protect the consumer, really. So it's just we have to be very careful what we say. So we can say a lot of things, we can't say a lot of things. Like we can't guarantee, that surgeries will do something or make you feel better or that kind of thing, because it's really it's different for each patient. So we can't say anything like that. Which is actually a great thing as well, because it's definitely taught me to think outside the box a lot in marketing. Because obviously, with some clients and products, it's very much just like buy our product or this does this and this does this. But in healthcare and marketing, it's very much that I have to come up, I guess, with a different way a lot of the times. Instead of that direct sell, it has to be kind of educational content and very valuable to the audience.
Yeah. So it would definitely sort of stretch you and develop you as a marketer.
Yeah.
And so tell me, when you got your job at Splice Marketing, sorry, I can't speak this afternoon. When you were offered that job, what do you think set you apart from other candidates going for that role?
Well, I know in my first role, fresh out of uni, the CEO and my boss at the time told me that it was the fact that I had internships. So obviously I did the internship that USC kind of makes you do before you graduate, but then I also had done a few others as well. So she said that that was highly valuable and a lot of other candidates hadn't done that. So it's kind of like, she saw it as like my having good work ethic, being super just, I wanted to get in and get started in that industry. And then when I started at Splice Marketing, my boss was talking to me about it, why I was successful in that thing. And she said that I just had a good attitude. So she said she'd, interviewed a few other people and they had quite a kind of a bit of a cocky attitude. They just came in, and especially being still a junior role, they wanted someone who was capable, but still able to take direction and, respect superiors and that kind of thing. So she said she really liked that about me, that I was respectful.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a good quality to have.
Yeah.
And I think even in whatever sort of position that you are, like just even working as part of a team, it's so important.
Yeah, especially in marketing, because marketing is so collaborative. So you can't really have an ego, especially as well, because it is very, I guess, brainstorming and that sort of thing. You can't come in and be like, it's my way or the highway. It's very much a team approach. So if you do have that ego, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just thinking about that in your career, what has been some of the best career advice you've been given?
I remember in uni a few times, I think yourself and a few other lecturers told me the importance of having a mentor. And at the time, I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds great or whatever. But then when I started at Splice, my current job has been a huge mentor to me. And I think since then, I've realized the value in that, and just finding someone who, you can come to with questions and seek advice from, and there's no problem. And just getting a boss in an environment that supports your career and your growth. Because I find, a lot of jobs, I guess, they just want you to come in and get the job done, and they don't really care about supporting you or developing your career or helping you out, and then hopefully you stay in on long term. So I've noticed that a lot, because I don't think I would have had my career growth if it wasn't for my current boss. So I think that's the most valuable thing I've had in my career so far.
Absolutely. It is so important. And I mean, I know I've been in roles myself where, not recently, where you do the job really well. And so they're like, great, you could just stay there then.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, well, now you want to learn more and continue to develop.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, in this industry, it is a career, it's not a job. So it's kind of like you do want to keep developing your skills, you do want to keep growing, you want to get more money, you want to get promotions and everything like that. So I think finding a job that your boss supports that and helps you along the way is a great, it's the most valuable thing.
Absolutely. And so what has been some of the other things that you've learned throughout your degree that have really helped you out in the workplace?
I think the most thing, it would probably be in my public relations lessons with you. It's just that really knowing the audience and what they want. And then also I find now whenever I create any kind of content or social media post, I think about how it could be perceived to the audience. So, I'll go through it with a fine pick comb, whatever, and really thinking how I'm wording things, what the topic is, what imagery I've used. Because pretty much anything you post, all it takes is someone to get offended by it. And then, you come in 24 hours and there's 200 comments, the client's angry, the brand's ruined. So I think that's my biggest thing, is just reputation management. And that when in uni as well, I didn't realize how much that kind of partnered up with marketing, and it's a huge aspect, just really understanding your audience, being able to talk to them, and kind of, I guess just making sure you're not doing anything that could harm a brand and you're continuing to grow that reputation.
Yeah. And I guess too, it's also putting yourself in other people's shoes, so not looking at the content from your perspective.
Yeah.
What would someone at this age or in this situation see this as?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, you just don't want to offend anyone, and you have no idea. For me, what isn't offensive could be offensive to an audience member, or, just someone looking at the content. So I think, that's probably the public relations has helped me massively in my career, I think.
Yeah, and I think that with our social media courses, there's a real, I guess, it's really multidisciplinary. So we really factor in the public relations, marketing, and and communication, of course, into the way that we deliver it.
Exactly.
It's that they all work together, don't they, to do it well?
Yeah, and all of them, it's really about knowing your audience. So that's really the most important part, I find, is just truly understanding your audience and not kind of, just surface deep understanding. It's really getting to know their pain points, personalities, if they're married, if they're not married, just absolutely everything about them.
Yeah. And so what sort of research do you do to learn more about your audience?
I use a lot of Google Analytics and that sort of thing, and Facebook Insights. And then also we belong to a lot of Facebook groups, a bit of a fake Facebook page just to get access to it all. And I find that very helpful when creating content, because they say it's a Facebook group about plastic surgery or something. And then I can see what people are posting in there, the questions, all the regular questions, then I understand their pain points a lot more. Because I find that the best content is the content that leaves people being like, are you in my head? Or how do you know I was wanting this question answered? Or, that kind of thing. So if they think they're being understood and not just talked at, they'll be more likely to engage with your brand. I just do, I guess at the start of each content plan I just look through pretty much everything and just try to understand my target audience as much as possible.
Yeah. It is so important. And so on the flip side, what are some of the skills or knowledge that you wish you'd learned at university that you really needed to, that you didn't learn?
I think we were talking about this earlier, but just with marketing, obviously things change so quickly. So, what's taught one week can be completely different to next week. So I don't think there's any particular skills I wish I had have known more, maybe a bit more in like Google Analytics and that kind of thing. But for me personally, I'm just more of a hands-on learner. So I found that I got, quite a bit from uni, but I found that being in the job and learning the skills was way more beneficial to me than just kind of reading the textbook or that kind of thing, which I did like with your classes too, because they were a bit hands-on as well. So it helped a lot. But yeah, I don't think there's any particular ones, but I just found that I'm better at learning, on the job, I think.
Yeah. And I think too, like I think that's where you sort of apply it and pick up new things as well when you actually go out into the workplace.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, make a few mistakes or do that kind of thing and then learn from them and then, develop your skills that way.
Yeah. And so what has been, so you're sort of in the midst of social media. That's one of the core parts of your job. So, and then it changes on the daily. So what's been something in the last couple of weeks that you've learned that you would like to share? So it could be a new tool, it could be a platform change, a hack, even just a bit of information that's been really helpful.
Yeah, I think one of the most, insightful things I saw recently was there was a study released that they said long form social copy was actually bringing in more engagement than short form, which was great for me because I do have to write quite a lot of long form content because some of the topics are quite extensive on, conditions and that kind of thing. So at the moment, I'm doing my own little A/B testing with some content and clients where, I'll test the shorter form against the longer form. So I'm hoping the results in a month come back and the longer form content does have better results.
Yeah, because I mean, it would be very difficult or very challenging to write content about, medical conditions and procedures. In what is it, about 180 characters or something.
Yeah.
How do
It's
you
very
do
different.
that?
Like it just can't be done. Or otherwise, the information we're giving isn't completely accurate because I've had to shorten it so much. So a lot of them are about the 1,000-character mark, which is massive for a social media post. So I'm hoping that this is right because, as you know, like for years it's been pretty much the shorter the better. I'm hoping that the results come back and our audience loves the long form better.
Yeah, and I mean, I read an article too about on Instagram how just the trend in captions has definitely gone for that longer form. But I think one of the key things is to make sure that first line is is really punchy and people will want to read more. So they'll either more or it'll just grab them, so they'll want to like read more. So that first line is just crucial.
Yeah, definitely. I always you try, start with a question or start with some kind of statistic or something that will catch people's eye. So if you just go straight into the big paragraph, like I wouldn't even read it, just keep scrolling.
Yeah, it's like that. What is it? TLDR, too long, didn't read.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also, what is some career advice that you could offer to emerging professionals, current students, about how they could succeed in their careers?
I think the biggest thing is to try to do as many internships as you possibly can. Obviously, try to go for the bigger companies if they have availability, but even just your local company, down the road or anything like that needs help with social media, like your local agency, just email them and see if they have anything going. Because I've had a lot of feedback from past employees and everything that have said that, internships are pretty much gold in this industry. And then also as well, I think you just try to be as hardworking as you can because in marketing, you do need to be a hard worker. It does involve long days. Sometimes you need to be willing to do it. So I think as long as, as well, I'd probably say your first job, it doesn't have to be your dream job. Just try to get your foot in the door as early as possible. Because once you do have that, years experience behind you, you have way more opportunities. So don't hold off for the industry you'd love to work in or anything like that, because that will come, but it just doesn't need to happen straight away. So I think if you, do internships, you just try to get your foot in the door, you work hard. I don't see why doors wouldn't open for them, or they can continue to grow in their career.
Yeah, well, that's great advice. And now the most important question of all, who
Yes.
do you like, share, and follow?
I think I really enjoy following Instagrams, purely because every morning, I'll scroll Instagram. So I get my kind of updates of marketing and social media without having to go and read blogs, because sometimes I just don't have the time to do that. So I would recommend for any social media student to follow Later on Instagram, as they do have really great just social media updates and marketing updates. And I'm also a big fan of HubSpot as well, for the more in-depth marketing as well. So yeah, they're probably my two favorites at the moment, just to get that easy kind of content.
Yeah, and I mean, they both have, if you go to their website, they've got great online courses that are free.
Yeah.
Both Later and HubSpot. And I know Later now is they were very really Instagram focused, but now they're starting to dabble in sort of TikTok content now too. So
yeah, Later's it's good all rounder at the moment, and HubSpot's I guess for that more advanced marketing kind of content as well. But yeah, their blogs are great, and yeah, the HubSpot free courses, I've done a few and I love them. So yeah, they'd be great for any student as well.
Excellent. Well, that brings us to the end of our chat. So thank you so much. Do you have any final words to share before we finish?
I think all I'd say is that uni finishes very quickly, and before you know it, you're on the real world. So I think just knuckle down, work hard, and then yeah, that's all I'd really have to say, I guess. But you'll be starting your careers in no time, and it's a great career. I absolutely love it. It's hard work, but it is really rewarding. So yeah, good luck to all the students, I guess.
Excellent. Thanks, Emily. And next week, I have Carly Lavelle, who is a creative director and web developer at Luda Creative. So thanks so much again, Emily, and I'll see everyone next week.
Thank you for having me.